is 5:30 p.m. and I'd like to call the meeting to order. The meeting of the Historic District Landmark Board is called to order. Ms. Sanchez, if you could please call the roll.
Ms. Rebecca Sepulveda.
Present.
Justin Allen.
Here.
Roberto David Gonzalez.
Here.
Maria Elena Morales. Cristina Davila.
Here.
Teresa Fonseca. Stanley Green.
Here.
Oscar Peña. And Michelle Romani.
Here.
For the record, Madam Chair, you do have quorum.
All right. Our first item is to consider the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting dated June the 13th, 2019.
See my name there. Was that before I took the oath?
No, you were here.
Or was that when I got the phone call after the meeting?
Probably.
I just hate to see an absence.
Oh, no, those absences are gonna be counting until you were appointed. So you don't have to worry about that. And Ms. Sepulveda is on the same situation, and Mr. Gonzalez.
So then, for clarification's sake, Dr. Green was appointed but not sworn in at the time of the meeting?
No, because we don't have communication with the board members until they're swearing in.
Okay.
He was, but he was not receiving emails for some reason. Staff clarified that with him, and he changed those settings,
Okay.
but that's the reason why.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, would I?
Aye.
Motion carries. Minutes have been approved. The next item on the agenda is citizen comments. Being that there is nobody other than the applicant from the general public, we'll go ahead and
We don't have any citizens.
move that one. Okay, the next item is the public hearing and consideration of the following. Public hearing and possible action to consider facade improvements to lots 1 and 2, block 143, Western Division, located at 1520 Farragut, in order to remove existing chain link fence along the property lines facing Farragut Street and Davis Avenue, and replacing it with approximately 220 feet of wrought iron fence to be installed and anchored into the existing concrete slab. Is there a motion to open up public hearing HDLB 01-2020?
So move.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, Miss Vicky.
Hi. Vicky Mia Garcia. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm a little sick. Just changing out, putting in wrought iron fence, changing out chain link fence. I have 4 signed letters from my neighbors supporting it. I don't have that many neighbors. And I was out of town when I got the letter, so I couldn't bug my neighbors until yesterday. But I'm just hoping for an improvement for my property with wrought iron fences. Right now, it's at least from the 50s, the chain link. I'm open to questions, and I think I'm familiar with all of you. That's good. I haven't seen some of you in many, many, many years.
And I believe the staff recommendation was to approve. Are there any questions for Ms. Garcia? Okay. Is there a motion to close public hearing HDLB 01-2020?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We are closing on public hearing HDLB 01-2020. Do I hear a motion to approve Ms. Garcia's request for facade improvement on lots 1 and 2, Block 143, Western Division, located at 1520 Farragut Street?
Move to approve.
Okay. Here a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The facade improvement is granted. Congratulations, Ms. Garcia.
Thank you all, and nice seeing everyone again.
Mr. Schneidman, excuse me, you're up next. Do you have any comments for us?
Well, first, I wanted to thank you for your service. The public sometimes may not realize that you do not get any remuneration for your time here, that you volunteer and freely come here of your time. We appreciate that very much. I also wanted to introduce myself. I have, I think, to most, but just in case I haven't. My name is Kirby Schneidman. I'm the new planning director for the City of Laredo and also the MPO, the Metropolitan Planning Organization director. I'm originally from East Texas, from a town called Humble, north of Houston, now just part of the huge Houston area. And I grew up in a big family. Loved where I grew up. I grew up pretty close to where Sam Houston defeated Santa Anna to win the Battle of Texas and Texas independence on the San Jacinto River. I grew up loving where I was from, and we don't have an extensive historic part of Old Humble, but we do have a historic part, and I always loved going downtown as a kid to see the old buildings that were there. I have most of my planning experience comes from the private sector, where I worked as a consultant for many years. I've worked in over 100 cities across the country and worked on many different types of projects. And as a planner, I've also been involved in historic preservation. Most recently, I've been working in the public sector as a city planner in another state. And I wanted to come back to Texas, and I had, as a consultant, had worked on a project years previous in Laredo and had come here. I also came here as a boy, which there were some memories of coming here with my family and visiting Mexico. But when I came in as a consultant in 2015, after our work was done, I had spent extra time just walking around the city and just admiring the beauty and the architecture and the history and the potential of what's here. And I was just struck with something, thinking, wow, this is a really special place, Laredo. So when the opportunity came for this position, nobody had to convince me. I thought, what a great place this would be to come to and to make a difference as a city planner. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to serve the residents of Laredo, and I'm especially excited for my role here with the Historic District. I still have that love for history and for the heritage and for old buildings. That's why I bought one. So I'm also a property owner, a homeowner in the St. Peter's Historic District, where I'm planning to move very soon, and excited to get to know my neighbors and be a part of the community there. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I'm very much looking forward to working with you all.
Okay, are there any questions from the board?
Well, I did ask whether there's an orientation or whether there's some kind of review of the tools that we use. Or it's been many years, I think, for both Stan and I since we last served, and don't know whether the guidelines have changed, whether there have been any changes to the...
Unfortunately.
With all of our boards and commissions that the planning department is responsible for, that's exactly what we've been doing. We've been reviewing best practices. We've been reviewing the rules and standards. We've been reviewing the ordinances that give you the guidelines of what you should be doing, how you should be behaving. And we're going to be doing that as well with the Historic Landmark Board. So expect that to come. We're going to be doing some training, some workshops, where we have in the past. I know you've gone to some conferences. We're going to hope to bring that training here with some experts coming here so that more can participate in that. And we're going to look at the rules that govern the Historic District Land Board, and what we're aiming for is more compliance. And that's going to be an interesting balance, and we're definitely going to want your input on this process if we if and when we do make any changes to the ordinance governing the historic districts. What we want to do again is to get more people that are making changes to do them the right way. And you know, any of those that have property in the historic district or are familiar with it, there's a lot of non-compliance. I've seen just in my time here and walking around St. Peter's, that there are people making improvements that are not coming here for approval. And part of that process, maybe they just don't know. Part of it may be that they have an understanding that it's too difficult, so they'll just, it's either ask for repentance than for permission. Those are things we want to change, because what we want to do is preserve our historic structures. And in my opinion, the worst thing for a building is to sit vacant. So we want to encourage use. We want people to use the buildings. We want people to invest in the buildings. We want people to buy home and live in these historic districts. But we don't want to make it so restrictive that it steers people away from making those decisions, or so restrictive that they don't go through the proper process, and instead they just do it without permission. So those are the things that are guiding me. A love for what we have here in Laredo in our historic districts, but also some practical experience about how we can get greater compliance and how we can encourage people to live and to invest in the districts.
I guess my question was, and I know that we had discussed this privately about the upcoming Real Places Conference. My only concern is that this offers the CLE hours that we do need. And so,
I understand that. We very much want training for each of the members. We haven't looked at anything specifically, but the goal will be to get as much training for everybody that we can. To do that probably mean we'll bring the training here to everyone rather than sending one away, because we have limited funds.
just to ensure that those will count towards the CLE.
Yes, we'll make sure when we do that we get an opportunity for those that need credits for any kind of certification.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Snyderman? Thank you, and on behalf of the board, we formally welcome you to our community, which is now your community, and to the neighborhood, so to speak.
Thank you.
All right. There being no further business, is there a motion to adjourn? It is 5:35. Well, no, actually, I'm sorry, 5:42. This clock is a few minutes late.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 5:43.